Hey you Stygian dogs, it's July 9th and this marks the release of issue number 22 of Conan the Barbarian from Titan Comics and Heroic Signatures. Titled A Nest of Serpents Part 2, Diamond in the Dirt, Jim Zub and Fernando Dagnino return for the second installment of their thus far excellent arc. We'll take our usual thorough look at the book, but first, while you go out and buy it, let's catch up with events from the previous issue and then take a look at this month's covers. Conan, having rescued Livia from sacrifice in the Vale of Lost Women, will return her to her people. Stopping for resupply and rest, the people of Daint arouse suspicion, their friendly faces but a forced affect. Athyr-Bast's curse of kindness. 'Tis Stygian sorcery to ensnare slaves to entertain the lords of Kashata. The Cimmerian, like a lion led from his cage, will confront Crumva the Carver, and from the shadows, Thamon, Stygian Grand Sorcerer and Master of the Black Ring, issues his command. Let this battle begin. And here are this month's covers. Cover A is another great one from Dan Panosian. Cover B is from Riccardo Federici. Here's Valerio Giangiordano's cover C, and cover D from Jason Shawn Alexander. Now, let's move on to the issue itself. And here we go. I'll flip through the book, present a few close-ups of panels. I'll try not to read too much verbatim, but I will outline the general plot and happenings. I want you to be curious and to grab your own copy. Seriously, I implore you, buy these fantastic comics. I want to give you a sense of how things look and to hopefully convey my excitement and a few summary thoughts. But be warned, if you want a pure reading experience, and I know you do, I would caution you about spoilers. If inclined, feel free to skip ahead. My review in the conclusion will be spoiler-free. On the inside cover is an advertisement for Tim Levin's new novel, Conan Songs of the Slain, now available for pre-order. Exciting stuff. After that, credits for the teams at Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics. Turning the page, the Numidian Chronicles, a map for wayfinding and a summary of events thus far. Conan, known in these parts as Amra the Lion, is pitted against the colossal Crumva the Carver in A Nest of Serpents, Part 2, Diamond in the Dirt. Grim Jim Zub writer, Fernando Dagnino artist, Dangerous Diego Rodriguez color artist, Richard Starkings and Comic Crafts Tyler Smith lettering, Calamitous Chris Butera editor. The gladiatorial arena in Kashata, Athyr-Bast has been gathering slaves to raise her reputation among the ruling council of the Black Ring. Her latest acquisition had shown promise, but against Crumva, disappointment looms. The barbarian takes a beating, but to give in to pain is certain death. As the Cimmerian struggles, the sorceress's aspirations sink. An unexpected attack causes hopes to soar. The crowd gasps as their champion stumbles, and the master of the Black Ring's attention is piqued. A swift strike signals a final test of strength. Crowd silenced, muscles strained, a razor-sharp blade inching ever closer, seeking. Then, all at once, finding its gullet-gouging home. The crowd roars for their new champion, Amra of Akbatana. Athyr-Bast is approached. The envoy's master is intrigued and offers an exchange of ownership, but she is not yet done with her plaything. Passing the cells of his companions, their fates unknown, Conan is to be cleansed, made ready for presentation, slave girls tasked to remove gore and grime from the Cimmerian's stone-like muscles. Shackled before his mistress, he knows it is better to bide his time than to seek swift reprisal. He will fight for her, slay her enemies, and bolster her reputation, and should he please her, he shall be rewarded with a life of bloody purpose. A fun 2-page spread, the champion in victory, the vanquished foe's head in mid-flight amidst blood-spackled gore. Amra the Annihilator finds glory in the crimson-coated spectacle of Kashata's arena. Amongst those who watch is a mysterious, cloaked figure, never speaking, ever present. Athyr-Bast has leveraged her slave's success into prestige amongst the ruling elite, while the brooding Cimmerian wonders if he'll be the wandering warrior no more. His thoughts, they're interrupted by Livia, finally purchased by Athyr-Bast to keep her champion happy. Conan's promise of a plan to escape does little to dispel her despair, for they live at the whim of others. The longer they stay, the worse their chances at survival, and for his Bamula brethren, time, it's run out. They must make their ancestors proud and battle to their bitter end. Silent cells and a prayer for revenge. The Stygian bastards will pay. When summoned, he must obey. The Cimmerian is seated as the centerpiece, a superlative symbol of the sorceress's success, all in attendance, praising Athyr-Bast and her unbeatable barbarian. The evening's festivities are not yet ended. She will dominate him as the obedient dog he was meant to be. An opportunity seen, an opportunity taken. Conan is ready for retribution, but sorceress control has a way of convincing. Battered, writhing, he's ordered to kneel, but Crom's children bow to no one. Defiance over defeat. When from the shadows unseen moves a cloaked figure, a well-struck blow knocking the enchantress unconscious. The Cimmerian, a stubborn soul in no mood for Stygian games, demands the stranger reveal himself. Before him stands Zula, willful warrior and shapeshifter of the Black Kingdom. And so ends issue number 22 of Conan the Barbarian from Titan Comics and Heroic Signatures. I enjoyed this one. It's seemingly light on plot progression, but rich in mood, and the predicament in which Conan finds himself will no doubt serve to stoke the fury of his future revenge. An absolute highlight was the page where he must confront the Bamulas and the poignant aftermath found in the empty cells. I thought it rather moving. And hell yeah, Dagnino's great. Join me in the conclusion for more. Opposite the final page, it's a new era of bravery and heroism, an advertisement for the many trade paperback and hardcover omnibus collections available from Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics. All of them, obviously, worth having. Turning the page, this month's covers gallery. And after the covers gallery, part 22 in Jeffrey Shanks' series of essays. This one is titled Stygia, Land of Sinister Sorcery and Dark Mystery, Part 1. We begin with a passage from Robert E. Howard's Black Colossus. A few days' ride on camelback to the southwest would bring the traveler within the sight of the great river Styx, at the point where it turned at right angles with its former course, and flowed westward to empty at last into the distant sea. At the point of its bend began the land of Stygia, the dark-bosomed mistress of the south, whose domains, watered by the great river, rose sheer out of the surrounding desert. Jeff starts his essay by noting that Stygia is one of the most enigmatic and foreboding regions of the Hyborian Age, a place of shadowy sorcery, ancient civilizations, and a culture of deeply entrenched religious fanaticism. It's a land shaped by the looming presence of the serpent god Set, whose influence permeates every aspect of life. Shanks notes that part of what captivates Conan readers is its evocative blend of ancient Egypt and the occult. He describes it as a land of scorching deserts, fertile river valleys, and towering black pyramids. Its great river Styx, a precursor to the Nile, serving as both a natural barrier and a lifeline to its civilization. Beyond its cities lies an inhospitable land of deserts and the crumbling ruins of ancient civilizations and eldritch horrors. With the city-states and nomadic tribes of Shem to the north and Kush and the Black Kingdoms to the south, Stygia is a land isolated, its harsh environment reinforcing its reputation as a land of secrecy, where outsiders are neither welcome nor likely to return. It's a hierarchical society ruled by the Set-worshipping priesthood, its king serving as a figurehead, with real power belonging to the sorcerers like Thoth-Amon and the servile masses resigned to their station in life. Shanks continues, stating Stygia's people are bound by an almost fatalistic adherence to their rigid social structures, a land of slavery and ritual sacrifice where free will is nearly non-existent. The fate of every citizen determined by the whims of the priesthood and the dark forces they serve. Stygia's sorcerers, known to summon demonic entities, raise the dead, and manipulate minds, are feared throughout the world. They don't play at parlor games. Theirs is a reality-altering magic, making Stygia one of the most dangerous realms in the Hyborian Age. Jeff closes by stating that Stygia serves as a dark counterpoint to the more civilized or barbaric lands, existing as a lingering shadow, a reminder of older, more primal forces that hold sway over the world. As always, Jeffrey Shanks' essays are a must-read for fans both new and old. Opposite the essay, an advertisement for something new. It's a fully illustrated adaptation of Robert E. Howard's The Tower of the Elephant. Be sure to check it out at the link provided, and I'll also include one in the video description. The art looks great. Well, this will appeal to everyone. I know a particular 12-year-old that will be pretty happy to have this in his own personal library. I can't wait to see it in person. And then on the back cover, coming soon and likely a possible source for marital strife, it's the Battle of the Black Stone Conan action figure. Honestly, I can't wait for El Barak, Conrad, and Kirwan. Heck, throw in Steve Costigan and Mike, and then we'll have the 1920s, 1930s Avengers fully assembled. Between my excitement for Fernando Dagnino's debut and my departure for Howard Days, I completely neglected to note some details on Athyr-Bast, the Stygian sorceress introduced in issue number 21 of Jim Zub's Conan the Barbarian. This is not Athyr-Bast's first appearance in a Conan tale. We're introduced to the character in the January 1993 issue number 205 of The Savage Sword of Conan. In the story Kashata, Conan in the City of Magicians, Part 4, written by Roy Thomas, penciled by John Buscema, and inked by Ernie Chan, Conan finds himself for auction on the slave block where he garners the attention of Lady Athyr-Bast, she of the Black Ring, that council of sorcerers who rule Kashata and much of Stygia itself. Her attempt to purchase the Cimmerian after a vigorous increase in bidding is thwarted by Lord Zula of the House of Sho-Onaru. In wrath, the sorceress unleashes her magic in an attempt at revenge. The Lady Athyr-Bast will appear again in issue number 206, where, after her schemes have gone awry, she confronts Thoth-Amon in a fruitless attempt of supremacy over Conan's sorcerer nemesis. It's been hinted that this current arc will connect to the forthcoming Scourge of the Serpent event series. While Athyr-Bast's connection to that series is unknown, the curiosity of her debut in The Savage Sword of Conan is all the more marked, given that, either by cunning or quirk of coincidence, that same issue number 205 also happens to contain a very freely adapted version of Robert E. Howard's John Kirwan story, The Haunter of the Ring, a story that we know to be connected with the Scourge of the Serpent event series. First published in the June 1934 issue of Weird Tales, Howard's story blends elements of supernatural horror and mystery, featuring themes of ancient curses, reincarnation, and dark magic. This Roy Thomas adaptation of The Haunter of the Ring reinterprets the story as a King Conan story, occurring after the events of the Phoenix on the Sword. I'll present a summary of the original Howard story using some visuals from issue number 205 to give you a sense of what Roy Thomas has done. The Haunter of the Ring tells the story of James Gordon, whose recent bride Evelyn repeatedly tries to murder him. A curse of reincarnation is suspected. After investigation by John Kirwan, it's discovered that Evelyn had received a ring as a peace offering, in reality an evil scheme from a spurned lover, Joseph Rollock. The ring, described as a scaly snake coiled 3 times with its tail in its mouth and yellow jewels for eyes, is revealed by Kirwan to be the ancient and accursed ring of Thoth-Amon, handed down by foul cults of sorcerers since the days of forgotten Stygia. Rollock, an old enemy of Kirwan, sees his nefarious plan for revenge foiled and his soul claimed by an evil spirit. The adaptation obviously replaces Kirwan with King Conan as the principal investigator, and the character names differ slightly or completely, like Trosro in place of James Gordon, but the essence of the story remains. Based on the Free Comic Book Day 2025 issue, we know that the Kirwan story, along with the Serpent Ring and its connection to Thoth-Amon as first established in the Phoenix on the Sword, will be integral to the event series. But come on, I can't help but to think that there is something odd going on here. That the issue that first introduces Athyr-Bast just so happens to have a retelling of the Haunter of the Ring, a tale so key to Thoth-Amon's Serpent Ring. It's just got to be more than mere coincidence. Surely Stygian sorcery is afoot. And speaking of the Scourge of the Serpent event series, just yesterday the official Conan account shared the availability of this special glow-in-the-dark variant cover. It's fun stuff, though the issue itself might be hard to read with the lights off. Scourge of the Serpent issue number 1 is scheduled for release on September 24th. With only the fringes of Stygian mystery in view, Jim Zub's Conan the Barbarian number 22 tells the tale of Conan's rise as champion in the gladiatorial arena of Kashata, and the growing prestige of his owner, the sorceress Athyr-Bast. Beneath the blood and spectacle, it hints at the quiet, deadly power games of the Stygian elite. Jim Zub's mid-arc issue is one of deepening tension, as the desperate situation in which the Cimmerian finds himself only serves to stoke the fury of future revenge. It teases a pleasing paradox that Conan's rise in the arena is building the very strength that may one day spell the undoing of Athyr-Bast and of Kashata itself. Fernando Dagnino continues to deliver the goods with his depiction of Athyr-Bast, undeniable allure rendered in curves and coiled danger, and the gladiatorial gore brought to vivid life by Diego Rodriguez's crimson-spackled embellishments. Amidst the spectacle of Conan's success, Zub delivers a poignant glimpse of the desperate loneliness of victory. Our hero is trapped, his survival bought by vanquishing both friend and foe. The empty slave cells echo with silence, heavy with loss. It sets a striking mood, made all the more powerful when set against the following page's lavish, colorful Stygian soiree. Both moments are once again capably and vividly enhanced by Rodriguez's exceptional color work. With this issue's satisfying, if not entirely unexpected conclusion, readers are left eager for the next chapter's renewal. With issue number 22 of Conan the Barbarian, Jim Zub pairs blood-soaked spectacle with the simmering dread of unseen power games. As Conan rises in the arena, so too does the sense that his triumphs are forging the very force that will one day undo Kasheta's elite. With Zub's razor-sharp writing, striking art by Fernando Dagnino, and moody, evocative colors from Diego Rodriguez, this mid-arc chapter delivers grit, grandeur, and the promise of vengeance to come. Thanks for watching. Liking, consider subscribing. Be sure to check out my recent Howard Days related videos, including my review of Will Oliver's new Robert E. Howard biography. And until next time, take it easy, you Stygian dogs.